3, 2, 1.
I'm talking, but things happen and gotta keep your schedule on point. So no, we're definitely thankful to have you back, man. We're pretty stoked to be talking to you again.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know really where we kind of left off. I think we kind of, we've gone through, most of your early career and stuff. I know we were talking a little bit about Element towards the end and stuff.
Right.
So really, I'm kind of curious of how that was. I know there was maybe some ups and downs on Element. Maybe I know you weren't utilized as properly as you should have been.
Yeah.
But how was that?
They were putting a lot of stock in the new guys, like the younger guys, and as brands kind of need to, they need to, believe in their young talent and give them the opportunity to shine and make a name for themselves. But at the same time, they were just letting a few of us just sit, And they were like, "Oh, we'll take the pressure off you guys. You don't need to worry about filming for a video part or anything like that." But it was like, that's the stuff that I loved, That's what I lived for, was making new video parts and just going out and filming and just getting clips. And, while you're doing that, you get photos for the magazines and all that. It's just, it kind of goes hand in hand. You have to be out there doing it.
Right. And it's called a team for a reason, right? So it's like, it's, what were they doing? I think they definitely fumbled there. I get putting, stock into your future. That's kind of with everything, right. Every sport and every kind of job or business kind of, has to plan for the future and stuff like that. But, it's sad to see kind of, legends, not being, put, on the same kind of forefront as everyone else. Right. I mean, you kind of paved the way for some of these guys, and then you'd think, just a little, appreciation, would have went a long way. But I mean, it is what it is.
Or even just an equal opportunity as the AMs.
Yeah.
We were getting less opportunities than the AMs, which is crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That is.
We weren't asking for special treatment or like anything like out of the norm, but I just wanted to be able to go on trips and try to get clips and just be out there in the streets with the guys. And that just wasn't happening.
Yeah. And I mean, so when did that transition come then? Like, you knew you had to move on. Like, did you stay probably longer than you should have?
I stayed years longer than I should have because they kept promising that it was going to get better. Because, it was right when there was a big recession happening, too. So pretty much everybody got pay cuts. And then, if you survived that and you could make it work, then it was just promises of when it gets better, we'll get through this and we're all still a team. We want you here. And just lots of promises of the future. And then when things did get better, nothing changed for us. And it actually got worse, followed, pay cut after pay cut until you're really not even making close to enough to survive, not even anything near. So it's like, well, now what, I don't want to quit. I want to actually stick it out and make it better here because, put in so many years, you figure we can make it work. But, they just stopped making it possible to have a working relationship,
Yeah.
And at some point, I was just like, the last phone call I got from one of the team managers, he seriously just said, that money we were paying you, we're not going to be able to do that anymore. That was after 15 years with Element. That's the phone call I got.
That's crazy.
I was like, what? You know?
Yeah.
It's that's unheard of. Not even come in and chat about it or do anything. Just a random phone call on a weeknight. Just there it goes. All right.
Yeah.
And then if I didn't call back or do anything, that would have been the last time I talked to him. So, I let that sit for a bit, and then I just called Johnny Schiller directly, and I was just like, look, this is the way this went down, and it's not really sitting right with me. I want to come in and just talk to you guys and see, what that was all about. And then, when I talked to them, they were like, they couldn't believe that that's the way it all went down either. And they're just like, well, trying to come up with ways. They had ideas of doing a Legends division or Element alumni and creating a program that we can actually do something with them and just come up with special projects and things like that to make it worth everyone's while. But nothing ever happened with it. You know, it was just like talks and promises, but nothing ever got delivered. It's like as soon as you leave the building, you're not even in their thoughts anymore, and it's business as usual without you. So, yeah. And at the end of enough of that, it was just like, I can't stick around because nothing is coming. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so that's
when we started our own brand. That's when we just started Ray Bros. Me and my brother Jonas just decided it's time.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were creative enough, and you guys, you know, you designed all your old Blockhead logos and stuff anyway, so it's like, why not, right? It was almost like a natural.
Do it. I just had no interest in being a brand owner.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be able to skate, and I'm okay with them making the bulk of the money off things that sell, as long as I get a royalty that's enough to survive. I was okay with that situation, because then I didn't have to worry about, you know, paying for all the incoming product, being able to move it in time, hitting deadlines with, like, you know, your drops, and making sure like all your seasons are ready. You know, there's a lot behind the scenes that people don't know about that, you know, I was involved enough to where I knew how big of a step that is to try to do it all on your own. And a lot of people just fumble their way into it. Oh, just start a brand and just, you know, figure it out as they go and make it up, and don't really know enough to know how hard it is. Mm-hmm. And some of them succeed, some of them don't. But I had been around it enough to where it's like, I know what kind of time that's going to take. And then if I do that, I won't be able to skate as much, you know? That would definitely hinder your ability to be on the board. Yeah. Having to deal with all of that behind the scenes. So I was trying to put that off as much as possible. I didn't want to do that.
So you finally took that leap, and you got, you know, more behind the business side of things. Like, did that affect like your skating at all? Like, were you kind of more focused on the business side of it? And then did it distract you from the skating at all? Like, you like maybe it could have?
It changes the amount of time you have, because you actually have to spend time just getting stuff done, you know? All the stuff that, like, if I would turn in a graphic to Element and they get it made, you know, however much later it shows up, I get it a box in the mail. I can put my board together, go skate it, get some photos, get some videos, and, you know, it just keeps going, and they worry about selling it all. When I'm doing it all myself, I have to make sure that following up with the wood shops, making sure everything went smoothly, getting the graphic, make sure it comes out right, then see how many we need to order, and then try to move those before the next order comes in. And just a lot of, you know, visiting shops, or like advertising the new product and making sure that you can move it, you know, because we're not under any distribution. So it's all in-house. It's all just, you know, right now it's one-man band style, where I got to do everything start to finish, you know. I'm even the one shipping out the boards and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. So we don't have like an operation or a business or even employees. It's just, you know, really grassroots, me making stuff and selling it, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. Like, but that's cool too. I mean, you know, there's disadvantages and advantages to both, right? Like, you get to make what you like and what you want to do, which is cool, but you do have to take more of your time, especially away from skating, to, you know, do that or whatever. But so like in the beginning of Ray Bros, like, you know, what was the transition from, you know, the background, you kind of got a bit of history, you've been, you know, doing shoes, all these kind of things. So like, you know, what does day one look like at Ray Bros? Like, when you guys finally, you know, enough with Element, let's go, we're going to do it our way.
We just ended up getting linked up with a wood shop, and I do all my logos and designs. So I just turned something in, and we got some samples back and tried them out. And we liked all the, you know, the shapes were good, the graphics were good, they skated great. Then it's just starting to hit up shops and seeing who's interested. And you know, we just moved what we got in, and then moved on to the next graphic and the next graphic, trying to just keep it fresh. And just started the daily grind, you know? So, yeah. And we had a few distributor orders come in from the East Coast or from Canada, and you'd want a larger order, so we would fill it and then move on, you know? Yeah. But for the most part, we're just taking care of our local shop and, you know, all the people we skate with, and just making sure anybody who wants it can get it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into politics on this, but has like the tear of all that bullshit affected any of the, you know, distribution of product?
Like the newest,
like,
that just got put in place.
I guess, yeah. Like
it's coming.
It's like on and off.
I've heard a lot about it's coming and the prices are going up and all that stuff, but I haven't seen it personally. It hasn't hit me yet.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I think it's still all like in the near future.
Yeah.
So people are scrambling and they are worried about it, but there might be some more options opening up to get stuff in the U.S. too. Right. So if we have to shift and, you know, like everyone else might have to, just find other resources that make sense, you know?
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Yeah, because it's not like an on and off thing. I think he says it's going to be a certain day, and then it's like, oh, we're going to pause it, and then it's like they get to the day, and then they pause it again. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that's a scramble. That's everybody's scrambling.
That's a whole other.
Well, the last time during COVID, there was a whole like maybe a period of like 1 to 2 years where no one could get decks. Like materials were just all on hold, and any companies that were large enough to snatch up all the remaining inventory, they were just buying up all the stuff from the wood shop, so they weren't accepting new orders either. So there was a long stretch where no one had any decks for purchase, you know, and unless you made your own, because all of us pretty much used similar wood shops. I think there's about 3 of the top wood shops that every brand uses. So we just had to shift and do more clothing and hats and things to get by. We did clothing, hats, and sunglasses when the decks were all sold out until we could get the next round in. And we made it through that just by shifting into what we had to do. And, you know, it was fun doing the clothing and hats while we had a need for them, you know?
Yeah.
And we did fine. So it's just you have to be willing and able to shift. And we're a small enough brand where we can do that. You know, some of these larger brands that have a lot of people to support, if you're not selling boards, you're not making money, you know?
Yeah.
So trying to support a 10-guy team and make sure they're all paid on time when you're not bringing in anything. I don't know. A lot of them had a big struggle, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we had a lot easier.
Yeah. It is, yeah. I mean, and just, you know, and kudos to you for pivoting in a moment like that, right? Like that was tough on everybody. Like it was everything. Like the industry that I was working in at the time was the same kind of deal. Like you couldn't get anything. And if you could get it, you'd have to wait, you know, it'd be 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks away. So you're always trying to figure something in between. Yeah. No, good. And I mean, good on you for keeping it going.
You have to figure it out, and you can't just sit and do nothing because then you just disappear.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because if you don't have the thing someone wants, you just eventually go away. That's just how it is.
Right.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you foresee like Ray Bros kind of? I don't want to say like, you know, into a big, you know, house brand, do your own thing or whatever. Do you foresee yourself kind of, you know, taking it kind of further down the path, kind of thing with that? You know, less on the skating angle, more kind of on the company angle.
I don't know. I honestly don't know the future of Ray Bros because it was something that me and my brother Jonas started just so we could have a fun project to do together and something that we could be on the same team and just share ideas and like just make something that we both thought was really cool and fun. And it was great doing that with him. And now that he's not around anymore, then it falls 100% on me. And now it's trying to figure out, is this something that I want to do completely on my own? You know, and I have also our buddy Pat Shanita, who's writing for us, and we make boards that he likes, and I do all the graphics for him, and he's got a new board out right now, right alongside one of mine, and so we can just, you know, bounce ideas around and keep making our videos and do stuff like that, and just keep it rolling. But eventually, we'll have to either add some younger guys who want to be a part of it, or figure out what we want to do next. You know, because we've learned a lot doing this, and it is a fun project, and I think I'll just keep doing it forever. Even if we start something else, I'll just do it alongside it, you know?
Yeah.
So there's opportunities to do whatever we want. That's the fun part. I'm not locked into doing anything. Yeah. So I can evolve with it and just do a little side project, even if it's a board brand or a clothing brand or whatever we want to do. Anything that seems like fun, we'll just give it a shot. So I'm open to new opportunities as well, you know?
No, and that's awesome. Because I really dig, like, I dig your graphics and stuff. So like that new stuff that you're doing, like under Ray Bros. Like I really like it. I think it's super cool, and it's different. It's a little bit different than everybody else is doing too, which is what I like because it's a little bit more personal. You can see it's a little more personal. I feel like, yeah, it's very cool. I quite enjoy it.
So
I know that there's been a lot of brands that are doing more computer generated stuff, and it's kind of static, doesn't have a whole lot of life, personality, or even art involved anymore. So, but that started even back in the Element days. That's what made Element somewhat successful, because it was kind of appealing to more people. You know, because if it's not specifically geared towards one style or another, and it's just something clean that everyone can kind of relate to, then it reaches a wider audience, you know? Whereas if you go the direction of, like, let's even say Creature, you know, where you know what kind of graphics you're getting, you know the style of person that rides the boards, and it's all going to look like that, you know? So, yeah, Element just reached a wider audience with their graphic style.
Weren't they even making shoes for Walmart at some point too? Like in the last...
Is that Element, you mean?
Yeah, Element, yeah.
The Element did have a shoe program, and they were trying to branch out into shoes. But I think what failed them is everything they wanted to do, they wanted it to have Element's name on it. You know? And I think under that same house, they could have just started a shoe brand.
Right.
Yeah. And then they would be able to reach out to other riders that don't specifically ride for their board brand, and just make two separate things that, you know, share the same owners, but, you know, you can branch out a little. Whereas they just wanted everything to have Element's name on it.
Right.
And I don't think that helped them in the end, you know?
No,
and some of the riders had other shoe sponsors. So how do you ride for Element as a skate brand, and then you're riding for this other shoe brand, but now Element makes shoes?
Yeah.
You know?
That's
so
true,
that doesn't always work.
If it's the same logo, right, it's so hard to differentiate the two, right? It's like, well, how do you not skate for the shoe brand when it's the same logo? So it was very off-putting when I seen that logo on a shoe. It was like, like what's going on here?
Right.
But like, I don't know, like, honestly, how Element is doing right now. I'm like, I feel like I'm turning 40 now. I'm a little bit out of my skate years, I think. You know, it's kind of it's nice to talk about it and reminisce and throwback and stuff like that. But, like, I'm not even sure how they're even doing as a company now.
No, I have no idea, to be fair about it.
Like,
Element's still around, but it's not the same people running it as it used to be. And, like, because Johnny's not there anymore, and he was the one leading the charge on all of it. I don't know if he's not involved at all, or if he's, you know, not involved as much, but it's not his brand anymore. And he has his other projects going now. So, but there's, you know, some team riders, I think, that stuck around from the tail end when I was on it. And I think Donnie Barley's still over there doing stuff with the brand.
Okay.
So,
crazy. I didn't know that.
I don't know. There's a few connections that still reach back, you know, but all the original people are gone. I mean, Element had such a sick team when I got on, even. You know, those original guys like Reese Forbes and Kenny Hughes and Bill Pepper. Yeah. And you name it. There was just, you know, and then they even had Tim O'Connor and like just some thick East Coast rippers, you know? So, they were a solid squad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And the beginning of Element to me was like a little more, like it felt a little more grassroots in the beginning, like, you know what I mean? It had that vibe in the beginning, and it was cool to see it get big and stuff. Like, and I mean, like, you know, like the BAM thing was craziness, like selling decks on decks on decks, kind of, you know, that kind of stuff was kind of cool to see and whatever. But in the same way, I think that was the demise at the same time, like just too much chaos kind of thing. And I don't think you can hold that together, personally.
Also, BAM situation was just a perfect storm. I mean, you got this kid that grew up in skating. He also makes videos with his friends. So that ended up being like the CKY stuff that eventually turned into Jackass, you know, and then he's got his TV show on MTV. He's got, like, you know, purple and pink as his pretty signature colors, you know, using like a bat. And then he had the heartogram with like a band involved. And then, like, there were just so many elements that made that whole thing work. And it was so marketable. And it was just, everyone knew who he was too. So, like, he had such a wide reach that selling boards with his name and his graphics and his images and all that stuff was just too easy.
Yeah.
And they were selling like crazy. He was single-handedly outselling other entire brands for years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Those hardogram decks
and
are nuts.
They couldn't make enough of his boards. It's not like he just had one board that was selling a ton, and he didn't even have 5 boards that were selling a ton. They were making like, I don't know, more than 20 boards with his name on it at the same time, and they were all selling out as many as they could make.
Wow.
So they just kept making more and more of his, and then kind of less of everyone else's, because it just wasn't worth the effort, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's when things shifted. When BAM got that big, it affected everyone else in a different way. And it's not like Element was like, oh, we're all doing great now, so we know we'll take care of everybody. It was like, okay, now we know where our bread and butter is. We'll take care of this guy. Yeah. And everyone else, we kind of don't need anymore.
They got too focused on the golden goose for a little bit there.
So. I think that was the demise kind of thing. It just got too crazy. It just got too crazy. Like, that was too much.
Yeah.
Because, I remember,
as a business, you kind of have to ride those waves. If they didn't push it as hard as they did, they wouldn't have been as successful. So you have to figure that out and get a balance going, you know?
That's definitely a smart business move.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
They definitely made money. There's no doubt they made money on that thing.
And in terms of, like, you know, the business side of things, has there been anyone, like, to kind of give you that advice to kind of push you, you know, in the right direction? Like, any advice that you kind of hold on to this day?
No, I think the first person that gave me some advice when I was starting the brand was Chet Thomas.
Okay.
And he was letting me know that you're going to nickel and dime yourself all around the States trying to sell a couple boards here, a couple boards there to the shops. Or you can start internationally and sell to distributors directly and just do, like, you know, however many they need in a large order, and then just keep running those. So it was good advice, but we haven't used it very often, you know. But it's a sound business program if that's what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
And his advice is spot on, and it would work, but we just haven't gone that route and tried to build it up internationally first.
Right. And it's a no easy task. I mean,
no, building the brand, skate brand is a whole different animal. Like, it's not like clothes. Right. It's not like shoes, you know, I don't know. It's different. Like, and shoes is a whole different animal too. Like, I don't know. I feel they're all separate things kind of to me in a way. Like, do you foresee yourself getting back into, like, any kind of shoe design, or like even something for yourselves kind of thing, or a collab kind of thing, or something like that maybe?
Like you said, shoes are harder to start on your own. I mean, unless you're able to, because I know how to design a shoe and do all the colorways, get all the materials. I designed all my shoes from scratch. Like, even back when we did Duke shoes in like 94 and 95, getting it started. Like, I came up with the name, came up with the logos, came up with the original design, and picked all the materials, did like the cross sections of the midsole, measured everything out, and got it exactly how I wanted it. And that shoe skated amazing. And that's the one that taught me how to do all of it. And then when we later on started audio, same thing. They just, you know, they let me kind of have free reign of what I wanted to do for my own shoes. So I would just deep dive in and just pull materials from other shoes, whatever I liked, and put it all together, design it, send it straight through, and get a sample back from the factories. And then I test it out. And sometimes the sample rounds, I'd go one extra round than the rest of them just to get it perfect. And then when my shoe came out, it did really good. You know, I would try to troubleshoot anything, and I'd get the samples in my size so I could actually skate them. And that was one of the things that hurt us with Duke when after that first model came out so good, because I had been able to test that in my size and make sure it was perfect before it hit production. Then when they wanted to do models after that, they weren't willing to spend the extra money to get the samples in my size. They were getting the samples in like the regular, which is like a size 8 that they do for salesman samples. And I wasn't able to skate it until they went to production. And then, you know, the first ones that come in, I get to skate them. It's like, nope, like there's problems with the midsole. They made the midsole too thick, so you can't feel your board. Stuff like that we just had issues that would have been easy to spot early on had I been able to skate them in the sample stages. So I learned a lot from that one too.
Like you but in a sense, you knew more than any customer, because you could skate this thing for real, and like you could give it an honest opinion and make it better, right? So like, That's another thing, like shooting yourself in the foot.
It's easy to troubleshoot it when you get that opportunity to skate it.
Yeah.
And like, you know where it's going to wear out, where the problem spots are, and try to solve it before it hits production. So, but that's only possible if they let you skate it first. And when Dukes got transferred ownership over to Morocco and World Industries, they weren't willing to put the extra funds in to get a sample in size 11. So, and that was the problem. So, because you have to make another mold at that point before you get your samples. So it slows down production a bit, but it's a necessary step to get something perfect, you know, or even close to it. And in the end, it saves you a ton of money.
Oh yeah, it has to be
more money.
Yeah, like a mold is definitely cheaper than a bad shoe. Like it has to be.
Right, exactly. So it just, you know, live and learn from those ones. And that when we got around to audio, I was able to get them to make them in 11 again. And I could try them out. And that way we got those shoes just perfect again. And it was nice. So some of the audios were like the most comfortable shoes I ever skated in. And when the best quality materials, they were just like the best shoes on the market when they dropped. So those were awesome. I would love to have some of those back again. And that original Dukes model, like same thing. And there are people talking about bringing some of those back. Like there's been a lot of talk about bringing audio back. And
that's cool.
There's someone who's trying to figure out if they can, you know, get the rights to the name and the trademark and just bring it back and actually have skaters riding for it again.
I'll see.
And have us do some designs and just start it all over and pretty much pick up where we left off with only the best models to start from. It'd be a no-brainer. Those things would sell great. And it's a good time to bring a shoe like that back because of the size and style of those shoes. Yeah, and now that pants are getting baggier again, you kind of need a little bit thicker shoe to hold those up. You know? It just looks right.
Yeah.
I was like, the baggy pants don't really go with the slip-on Vans, you know?
No, they sure don't.
No, and
styles are changing again.
Yeah. The big shoes don't go well with those slim fitting jeans either. It's like
you got to pick one. You got to be a big or a small person.
Yeah, and it all evolves together. And you know, I have my 14-year-old son, and he's wearing super baggy jeans again, like we did in the early 90s.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I never thought that style would come back, you know? Because we took it pretty far, you know? Even those original blind jeans were so big.
Oh, snap, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about those.
Yeah, that's the ones that started it for us, were those blind jeans,
That's so crazy.
But it's the perfect time. I think everyone has this kind of nostalgic 90s kind of feeling right now, right? And I know with S coming back with all their reissues and DC's had a few. Like I think it's the perfect time to do that.
So, yeah.
Like because all of us early 90s kids, all of us 90s kids are old now. We're adults and we want to buy this shit, right? Because you know,
I'd rock a pair of audios right now. I want to see those Dukes that
demand for it.
Like the slim Dukes that you made, the slightly small, like the blue Dukes. I want to see those.
OG, yeah,
they look so sick. They're so nice.
Those were just a good all-around skate shoe, and they lasted forever because they didn't have any seams that would fold over or break apart.
Yeah.
You know, they were just built. They were built to last, but built simple.
Yeah.
So they were good.
No,
and they even had something that the other shoes never had was a dual density rubber on the sole, to where the heel and the toe had a harder rubber on the ends that didn't wear out as fast. So it made your shoe last a lot longer.
Yeah, they were so sick.
So you're more likely to get a hole on the side before you get one in the sole on those ones.
Oh yeah,
you'd have to wear through a lot of material to get there.
those were such well built shoes, and just a classic all around like classic looking skate shoe. When you think skate shoe, I mean, if you were going to draw a picture of a skate shoe or whatever, it's going to be those old OG Dukes. You know what I mean? Like like that's a classic, and kind of hard to find right now. You can't really find a really OG looking skate shoe. Everything is kind of either the slim little thin things or you know what I mean. You don't get those. Nothing
the
like
closest
that.
You can get right now is when Sal brought back his original 23.
Right.
That shoe.
Yeah.
Those are out right now, and they're pretty similar. Like I got to skate in a pair of those recently, and when you put them on, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah. It feels just right.
Yeah. Those old S shoes.
It's funny, they had tried to reissue those a while back. Like, I don't even know, 5 years ago or more. And when it came out, it wasn't right. the fit wasn't right. It looked like the shoe from the outside, but as soon as you put it on, you knew right away this is not the same shoe. Everything was a little bit off. It just wasn't the same fit or feel.
Yeah.
And they missed the mark on it. But so they were selling them because people wanted to try them again, but no one was rebuying those because they just weren't right. And you knew it. So when they redid these ones, they put in some effort and they got it exactly right. The materials are on point. The fit was on point. And they're just as close to perfect as it gets for those ones. That's rad.
Yeah, super cool. It's wicked to see all this stuff coming back too. Like, it is cool to like. It's cool to see like yourself, or even like still skating. You're still doing your thing. Like, it's still cool to see all that, and it becoming kind of popular again. Like, everybody can get a bit now. Like, it's cool. Like, it's super nice to see. And yeah, the big pants, small wheel era is starting to return all over again for sure. It's super funny. It's so
Except for the small wheels, I don't see too many people actually going as far as riding the small wheels again. The pants are back, the shoes are coming back, but people learn from those little wheels. You know,
what were
riding like 39 millimeter wheels.
Oh wow!
You know,
I was just going to ask what were the smallest you've rode, but 39.
That was it. Kind of. The smallest ones were like the Mariano Mobsters, and I think they were like 38.5 or 37 or something like that. They were small.
Crazy.
But that's about as small as it got.
That's so funny.
But 40 millimeter was pretty average for the back then. We were riding the Spitfire and Lil Smokies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And those were, 40 millimeter straight up. And they were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you try them out now, you realize, they're... Unless you got perfect bearings in there, you're not really rolling anywhere.
No, that's the one thing. Because I took a little break and then I went and spent a little more money and got like everything that I wanted, kind of thing. Like, I just got to set up. I actually want it, and like first couple of pushes, it was like, whoa, holy cow! Fresh wheels, fresh bearings. Haven't done that in such a long time, and it was like, whoa, holy cow! Yeah. That technology.
What size wheels did you go with for that round?
Daewoo Spitfires. So 58, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm not. I
can't remember now.
55 Spitfire.
58. I can't remember what Daewoo's were, but they're the double sided. Like, one side's flat, one side's got the curve. But I want to say 58. 56s or 58.
Those for locking in on ledges.
Yeah. And dual graphics.
Daewoo's, I can't imagine them being above 54.
Oh, maybe they are.
58's actually pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember now.
54 and below.
And probably maybe they're 54. Yeah, I can't remember now because they're turned backwards.
I know he rides them littler than that.
He does. Yeah.
So,
yeah. That guy's a machine.
He's probably in like the 51 range.
Yeah, his look tiny. Like, when you like see them, kind of like they look smaller for sure. They don't look tall. Like, they look like they've been flattened, almost like they're wider than they are tall, almost, or something like that. And no bushing in the front, like a lunatic.
Man,
that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Is no bushing in the front. I would never attempt such a thing.
It's amazing how creative he still is. To this day. I mean, he's still posting stuff on Instagram that's things that no one else has even thought of yet. I mean, like, he's been switching wheels out like mid trick, and he's like doing these things like, what the, like,
him and Chris Haslam going crazy, right?
Yeah, like, oh man, incredible.
Yeah, we would cross their path. Still, even recently, we'd go to the Harbor City Park, and they skate it in the morning. So we were seeing Daewoo regularly when we'd go out there.
Wow,
that's sick. Yeah, he just skates it in the morning before it gets too crazy, and he's in and out. But man, he's not even filming; he's just skating. But his regular morning warm up is so much better than like pros trying hard. You know,
it's crazy, man.
Like, he's actually flipping into manuals and stuff, up the little step up to a manual, and like, he'll do a front side flip fakey manual, no problem. Just warming up.
What are you
having fun?
Like,
not filming, not doing anything. And it's like, someone should be documenting this, you know? So, and every once in a while, I'll have my GoPro with me, and I'll just film a couple clips while he's passing by, you know?
Yeah.
And we'll get a couple things and share it. But it's funny. Just him just regularly cruising is so good, even to this day.
Yeah. Like, when he pops into a nose manual, it looks like that's the position he's supposed to be in. Like, he just doesn't look awkward at all. Like, and he catches things, like, he's turning the other way, and he catches it and spins it, puts it under, just like, he's unreal. He doesn't get.
Crazy control.
Yeah,
control
it's crazy.
of his body and control of his board.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't comprehend sometimes what he's like, how you would even do it. Like, I don't get how you did those three things in a row. Like, how did you do that?
Fast feet.
Yeah, he does. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's one of my
I think
favorites.
him and Pat Chanita went to the same school of skate, because Pat's similar.
Yeah, that's
Pat
true.
Chanita just has that quickness and power and control.
Yeah. It's about that flip, right? That quick
and
flip.
neither of them lost anything.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
yeah, that's the crazy part.
When will it ever stop? Like it's just it's admirable, really, to be still killing it.
Yeah,
honestly, and still creating new things and inventing and being just totally
pushing it, still pushing it, right?
But that's skateboarding in a nutshell.
If you don't stop, anything is possible. That's the thing. You just keep going and you don't let it slow you down. You just keep on it, and they can keep going and progressing. Even it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's just they're that close to it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, what do you see for yourself coming up in the skate world? Like, are you going to be doing any parts? Got anything that you think you might be doing, or?
It's been odd because like I'm down to skate and I'm down to film, but there hasn't been anyone around who wants to film. So that's when we just got a GoPro ourselves and we just started filming each other. It's just me and Pat Chanita, and when Jonas was around, we would just hand the GoPro between us and just skate. So that's why when one of us is skating, the other one's filming. And it's a lot more fun if you have a filmer there that we can both skate at the same time.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
But there hasn't been anyone who stepped up who's down to film stuff. So, it's odd. And I did try back when we were trying to film some stuff with, even like a 3-chip camera, setting it on a tripod and doing something, but it doesn't look nearly the same,
Yeah.
Because you can set it fisheye right at the right angle, but in order to get the right up and the landing, you kind of pull back a little bit. And just the motion of the camera and a good filmer makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I've filmed with some of the best filmers in the industry, So like I filmed with Dan Sturt and with Ty Evans and you name it, we've done it all. I filmed with Socrates, all the legends of skateboarding. And like it's hard to go from that to like handing your friend a GoPro. And like, let's try to get it. And like no one's really all that great at it. So, you can do something that even feels great. And it doesn't look as good. But if you get the right filmer in there, they can make something that doesn't feel all that awesome look amazing.
That's right.
So there's just a big difference. And you need to have that relationship with a filmer and just go at it together, And all the people I used to film with are just on to other projects and doing other things. So it's odd just not having anyone who's around who wants to do it. Yeah. So, and you can try to go to them and join sessions and stuff, but it's so few and far between. You won't get a whole lot done that way. So unless you ride for a sponsor who's making a video, they're like, here's our filmer, you go out with him anytime you want, then you could probably get something done. Just going around with the guys and skating whatever they're skating. So
that's true.
Unless that happens, I don't see like a full-on video part happening anytime soon.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe no one is like stepping up in the part, be like, hey, no, I got this, guys. Just hand me the camera. You guys skate, and I'll just try and take care of it from here. Because I mean, that's one of my favorite things. Like I always loved being behind the camera too, right? As much as I loved skating, I loved filming the stuff too, right? So I'd be all over that, right? I'm shocked, really, that no one's really.
I am too, to be fair.
Hopefully, someone will listen to this and
happen now that I do have the GoPro and I'll bring it out. And if I see someone doing something that's worth filming, we'll just bring it out and we'll start filming stuff. And I actually enjoy filming it properly. If I get the clip just right, it's as good as doing the trick yourself, like you're helping someone else look better.
Yeah.
And I've been around filming so much. I know where to be. I know how to like follow someone and get at that right angle and, be, especially during a line, when they're doing 180 tricks and you don't want to just be behind them filming their butt. You have to figure out how you can get in front and change your angle up and keep working with it until you get every trick in the line from the right angle all the time.
Yeah.
And there's an art to it. And I've always liked when people are coming toward the camera too, which is a way trickier angle than just following someone behind them and getting everything from behind. So leading them off is hard, but that's what I enjoy. And I try to do that whenever possible. I'll just be backing up and getting them right into the lens.
Nice.
So it's been fun just doing it and making people look good.
That's cool. Yeah. I like the pass by. That's my favorite kind of shot. Like, grind a ledge or whatever, kind of come by each other. And then the camera kind of looks at you going by. Like I like that. I kind of enjoy that angle.
Right.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
It makes it look like you're going a lot faster too.
Yeah. 100%.
Like pass by real quick, especially with a fisheye.
Yeah.
There's definitely certain tricks that look great for that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've messed around with all that stuff. Yeah.
It is fun. And it is fun to just frig around and see what you get kind of thing, right? Like it is fun just to try it and have fun. Because that was kind of what skating was. Like, I mean, when you're skating with your buddies, that's kind of the fun of it, is almost hanging out, trying to get a clip or whatever, like doing that kind of stuff. Like that's kind of the fun of it all.
Absolutely. So we'll get our clips and then I'll go home, get them off the camera onto the phone, and then just edit something up. I have the iMovie app on my phone.
Yeah.
So I can edit it up, put titles on, and get all the transitions just right, and then even put it to music, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So
funny how that is, hey? Just do it on your phone, right?
Yeah. The technology, hey, like can you imagine that? Like in 1992,
holy cow, there'd be a lot more.
I know
clips.
all the stuff you used to have to be able to edit something. You had to have a computer and like Final Cut Pro or something like that,
Yeah.
There's all this stuff, and it was expensive equipment too.
Yeah.
Which is even crazier.
Yeah, it wasn't a cheap
my
enterprise.
phone's saying it's gonna die, so I'm relocating it. There we go. Let's see if that works.
There we go.
Yeah, that should work.
There you go.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Right.
like I can't imagine anyone not, stepping up to film you. But like you said, it's changed so much, over the years and stuff now. Like you
It's
said,
probably been over a decade that we haven't had a filmer.
That's crazy.
No one's around who has a camera that wants to do it. So we just been skating on our own and filming ourselves, which it has been fine. It's been a lot of fun, but you get half the skating in that you would normally get. Because you're taking turns doing the filming.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
It definitely gets in the way of a good session. Like, when someone makes something and you want to get their back and do it right after, that takes that out of it,
Yeah.
Then you're filming till they get it, and then you step back in and hand them the camera and try to get your own. And it breaks up the session a lot more, but you learn to work with it,
What kind of music gets you stoked for skating these days? What are you listening to?
I still listen to the old, Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. But I'm also a fan of the Beatles, and I still have all my old funk stuff too.
Oh yeah,
I still like listening to NoFX and Operation Ivy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
do you have a
Misfits in there?
You have a record collection or a CD or cassette collection?
Mine goes all the way back to cassettes.
Nice.
But I don't listen to the cassettes anymore because now you can just do everything on Pandora.
Yeah.
Just type in the bands you want to listen to, and it'll even give you a mix of all the good ones.
Yeah.
So I've been able to work it out like that. But I definitely have a whole cassette collection and then a whole book of CDs, but none of that stuff gets pulled out anymore. And we did start collecting some vinyl recently.
Oh, nice.
But even that, you don't really get the records out too often.
No.
So
more of a display art piece, I think, than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you do dust them off and put them on, it sounds pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it is fun to listen to an album all the way through because Pandora will kind of just throw you for a loop with just a crazy mix of songs,
Yeah.
You don't get the whole feel for the album like you remember you used to just put on a tape and let it play,
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And I've said this before on other podcasts as well, but I'm into CDs right now. So I've been, thrifting CDs and digging through crates and trying to find old gems and stuff like that. I have a CD player still in my vehicle, so I'll still do that. I'll grab a CD and just listen to that one album kind of.
Is it a 1 disc or is it a 3 disc changer?
Just a 1 disc, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have a car that has the 1 disc too, and we just had a face-to-face CD that just stayed in there. And whenever there was nothing on the radio, we would just click it back onto the face-to-face and just listen to that.
Nice,
So good. That's super fun.
Yeah,
I just recently took that one out, and I was looking for my old CD book because I have it somewhere. It was on a bookcase, but then we moved stuff around, cleaned up, and I don't know where it ended up. It's probably in the garage somewhere now, but I gotta find it so we can just start playing some old CDs too.
Yeah,
it's fun. Because you can buy portable, Walkmans or whatever the term is for that technically, but those you can buy those again.
It was a Discman.
Discman, yeah. Discman, yeah. But you can buy new ones that are USB and stuff. But I can plug it into my truck or whatever, so I can play CDs now in my truck or whatever, which is super super cool. Same thing. I put
Until
a little pocket full.
Because we used to have that car Discman one, and you plug it in through the tape deck, and it would play it through the tape. But every time you went over a bump and the thing would skip, it was just this is just not a good technology. There's got to be something better.
Yeah, I remember too having the Velcro on the bottom of it and kind of have it velcroed to your dash, so you could make it not there. Move, but like it just it wasn't working. It would always skip. Yeah,
that's
those
true.
Anti-shock things just never helped.
Right.
Yeah, this new one, like you can throw it at the wall, doesn't skip. It like preloads the whole.
No,
like buffers the audio all the way out, and then it plays it back for you, kind of thing. And then if it lags or whatever, it reads. But it's pretty cool. It was only like $50 or something. It was pretty sick, actually. Amazon special, of course. But that's
crazy.
The same. Yeah, because I couldn't believe it. Because when I see it, well, Leanne gave it to me or whatever. But when I went back and looked at it, I was like, oh, they're only like $50, and they're actually unreal. And like it's a built-in battery. You don't have to fool anything.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's sick. So yeah, I've been doing the same thing. I got a little pocket full of CDs that I throw in into that now. So yeah, it's funny. It's funny that everybody's got a little media collection going. I like it.
Yeah, physical media.
What are you guys listening to as far as CDs go then?
So I'm always listening to Silverchair Diorama. That's like a mainstay. That's always in my binder because I have a couple copies of that. What else would be in there? There's definitely True's album in there. The first True's album is always in there. Canadian band, like rock band or whatever.
Maybe you might not know those.
Yeah, the True's got that in there. That's in there all the time. Rage Against the Machine, the first two of those is always in there as well. The Darkness, Permission to Land, the first Darkness album is in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else is in there now. I can't remember what else is in there, but there's 3 more in there anyway. But it fits 10.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
I've been rocking the April Wine greatest hits for the last little bit here.
Yeah, another Canadian treasure.
Yeah, a little Canadian throwback. And just I love like I like older Metallica stuff too. I like punk. I like rock, 90s rock. I like grunge. I like listen to like Soundgarden, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam. I like Stone Temple Pilots and stuff like that too. And then of course I love like the 90s hip hop too, right? So the 90s hip hop, like Wu-Tang, and I like
Wu-Tang.
Method Man.
Yeah, that's another one.
Redman, like all those guys, and that just gets me stoked for skating too.
It's fun taking a deep dive into Wu-Tang. There's so much good stuff. In those old CDs and stuff. It's rad. Just everyone has their own unique sound. And like even ODB is just pure entertainment. It's so good. I just love the way he was so loose with it and just had fun with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just something about his personality came through so much in his music, and it was just rad.
He was definitely one of one original.
One of one print. Yeah, that's all you get.
There will never be another one of him. That's for sure.
No. And that's like OG Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? Like that was. Like Killer Bees on a Swarm, like that was what that was. I love that, like because 36 Chambers is another one that's usually kicking around, and then there's a Wu-Tang from like 2001. But I don't know what the name of it is, but that's in there too. It's got Gravel Pit and stuff like that on there.
Okay,
that album's really good too. Actually,
it's not Triumph, was it?
We got to see Method Man and Redman perform a couple times live, and they're just so much fun.
Wow.
They're so good together on stage.
That would be sweet.
They're like some of my favorite MCs technically. Like Redman is like probably Method Man is probably one of my favorites, I would say. Like pretty close to the top. Yeah, I love Method Man.
Yeah, he's a real one.
Yeah. He's OG. He's for real. He's like he's one of the best.
Yes, I think Gino introduced us all to Method Man.
Nice.
They brought all the East Coast hip hop with them, all the East Coast rap.
Yeah, that's funny.
It was fun just getting to hang with Gino and Keenan and Eric Pupecki and that whole crew. Like they introduced to a lot of like just funny terms that we didn't have in California, and all their music and clothing style and stuff. It was just a whole different world.
It definitely, it definitely was a whole different world. Like it was almost like a completely different thing. Like East Coast skateboarding compared to West Coast skateboarding. It was totally. I almost want to say like it was a little bit grittier. I don't know if that's just a New York thing.
It was
maybe?
definitely. It was raw.
Yeah,
it was raw and inventive, and they lived down in Huntington Beach, and we would just go down there, and we were skating with Jason Dill when he lived down in Huntington, and we just all ended up skating together. So for I don't even know 5 years, 10 years, we were just every day going down and skate with those guys, and we'd go film at Lockwood and just meet up and make it happen.
Yeah, because you and Dill were teammates, right, on Blockhead early on, or was that right?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get on Blockhead, because we knew Jason Dill. We already skated with him, and he rode for Blockhead. Yeah. So I got on Blockhead, and then he left Blockhead to go to Black Label, and my brother Jonas was on Black Label. So it went from me and Dill to Jonas and Dill in the ad. My first ad was with Jason and Dill. It was a shared ad with me and him.
Nice.
And then Jonas and Jason shared an ad on Black Label. Like, I don't know if it was even the following like year or the same year. It was pretty close after that.
That's actually sick.
Their ad said "Little Buddies," and it just had 2 sequences of them skating. Pretty funny.
That's mad. I forgot all about Black Label. Holy cow.
Do you keep any magazines like Old Thrashers and Transworlds? Like, do you keep any of those?
I have a grip of them. My wife keeps telling me it's time to get rid of them, but I just don't know how I'm going to do it.
Oh man,
I have bookcases full of old magazines.
Oh, sick.
And I just don't think I can go through and just tear out the pages that I want. I kind of want to leave them intact.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm with you on that.
It's almost better to donate them at this point to like the guy Kevin at Look Back Library or something like that, where they go to a good use. Because right now they've just been sitting in these cabinets and they just don't get looked at or used for anything. And every once in a while, if I do flip through it, I end up just shooting photos of old ads and stuff and just trying to share it. So
yeah,
I love looking through those old mags, man. And I had a big stack of them too. And I think around 2008 or 9, I just threw them all away. I had no, like, I just had a big, I had this big stack of magazines that were just had so much space taken up with all this stuff. And one day I just cleared everything. I just literally had so much stuff I just threw away, and I had all these magazines. I mean, a lot of them were ripped up and stuff because like my wall back in the day had like every single ad and skater and everything all over my wall. So they were all full of holes and all kind of ripped up and torn up and stuff like that. But I regret that.
Right. I still got a stack. I probably got.
I wish.
I don't know however many that is. Probably like 30, and I got a couple of like really early Thrashers too. Like there's one that came out. Like the October 1985 one, I have that one.
Holy.
And a couple other ones that are like, you know, in a sleeve and stuff like that. But I have an original stack. I got a bunch of Guitar Worlds from the 90s and a bunch of like Thrasher, Transworld, Skateboarding Mag, Skate Canada, or whatever the other two are. Just a stack, but they're kicking around in the garage. But I'll never get rid of them. I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it because every now and then I'll go out and thumb through them and have a laugh at it, like, oh yeah, I remember this or whatever, and then I put it back on the shelf and then come back out again 6 months later and I do it again, but I can't do it. I just cannot. And same thing with the guitar ones, like I can't bring myself to do it, like the bands on the cover, like can't do it. Just refuse.
Yeah.
I think early on I had my mom wanted me to go through my magazines and she's like, just tear out what you want to keep and get rid of the rest. So I did that and I regretted it instantly. It was like, you know, like the magazine with like Jason Lee's interview. Yeah. And it was a Transworld, and I tore out all the photos of him and kept that and like some photos of Mark Gonzalez and stuff. But it was like the magazine itself had so much other cool stuff in there that I just don't have anymore. And I regret getting rid of it. And then that's, I think, why I haven't done it again. Because you know, it feels wrong.
Yeah.
I agree. Same thing.
It is wrong, and I don't recommend it.
You got to let it go.
But you
can't just keep it forever, and I don't want to have it like still in my house and have the kids have to deal with it, you know?
Yeah, there is that.
At some point, I got to handle it myself. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go through all of my stuff and just start letting more stuff go. Which I've already done. I've sold a lot of stuff and gotten rid of a lot of stuff, donated a lot of stuff, and I still have more. So, and I'm not a collector at all. I've never been a board collector, but I ended up with a lot of decks just throughout the years of, you know, friends or whatever I didn't ride, and it ended up in the garage and just didn't go anywhere. And then, you know, we've lived in this same house for 25 years now. Oh. So a lot of stuff just ended up getting tucked in the corner somewhere, you know? And as I go through stuff, I keep finding like, oh, I didn't know I still had this, you know? So, but it's time, like even just making space for what my family wants to do, you know, making room for what my kids want to hang on to, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Because just you run out of space. And I'm definitely not the guy to get storage and pay to store it somewhere, you know?
Well, I wonder.
I'm not that
let
guy.
It go before it gets to that point.
Well, I wonder.
You know?
I wonder if maybe like if you could digitalize. I mean, Transworlds. I don't know if that's something that they would want to do. Like,
scan it. I have a flatbed scanner, and just the time it would take to scan every image, you could do it, but it would take you a while.
It would take a while.
You know.
Yeah. It'd be nice if
just take a photo of it on your phone and just fill up your phone space with images from each magazine. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
So, and it comes out as good as if you scanned it, I think, because the cameras on your phone are so good.
True, yeah.
And a photo, if you don't get a reflection on it, actually comes out pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
you can get some pretty good things going. And you can use the scan thing now on an iPhone, and it actually like scans the picture, like it wipes the blurs away and kind of thing or whatever. Like it's whatever AI thing or some nonsense.
I haven't tried that yet.
It works pretty good. Like it's because there's another one, Adobe Scanner or whatever. It's the same idea, but of course Apple does it their way or whatever. But it works really well, like really, really well. And you can like decolorize a document. So you just want to like get the words, you can decolorize it and just black and white pictures. Pretty cool. Yeah. Welcome to AI.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, no, there's lots of cool stuff coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, like AI and skateboarding, like will we see more people using it, for their graphics and stuff like that? I wonder, will people kind of cross that line? I know skateboarders and skateboarding in general kind of hold their artists, in high regard, right? I mean, and they.
But for graphics and ads and things, I think yes. For video parts, that's where it gets tricky, Right. So I think people are starting to do weird stuff with AI that you wouldn't expect. And if you can't trust what you see anymore, it's going to get weird,
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's close. Like we're close now for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In that uncanny valley where
it's happening very soon.
You can't tell if it's real
and
or
things
not.
are already so ridiculous of what people can actually do on a skateboard.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's almost AI already at this point.
It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater, man. It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Like just the stuff they're doing on the mega ramps and all that stuff, and just it's so out of hand, dude.
It is.
Those mega ramps are insane, dude.
Yeah, I was watching the guys doing crazy flip tricks and stuff. Like, I mean, it was crazy. Like when Bob Burnquist started doing that stuff and whatever, like Danny Way and whatever those characters first kind of got into that. It was basically like, how far can you launch or whatever? Like maybe touch the rail on the way by, but now it's like tray flip, mute grab, 150 feet. It's like, this is insane. Like, what are you doing, people? Like, holy cow. Like, I don't have the balls for that. Like, that's a whole different thing, man. Staring down a 50-foot ramp.
The amount of time it would take to get good at something like that, and then like how long can you stay at that level for?
Yeah.
And at what point do you get out of it? Because like, are you going to be doing that when you're 50? Flying that far, and every time you do it is a risk to your life.
Yeah. It's nuts.
And like the simplest thing can go wrong, like what happened to Jake Brown and he got pitched out. That can happen to anyone at any time.
Oh,
and you're really in trouble.
That was
or what
such a
happened
hard
to
sign.
Lizzie Armanto, where she got stuck in between the two and hit it and bounced in the hole.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like, that can happen. That can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I just don't know. I don't know how much longer that can go on for the people that are doing it at a high level. At some point, they just have to decide that they're not going to do it anymore.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so. And the impacts are so hard. Like
when it's the right time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's super cool to watch. I'll be the first one to attest to that. It is super cool.
It's amazing.
But
and they're looking more comfortable than they ever have.
Well, that's the dodgy part. Like, I mean, and then not only did you do something crazy over the gap or whatever the deal is that you're doing, now you're like on the other end launching yourself up this other giant ramp on the other side, and it's like straight up. It's nuts. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's super cool to watch, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of my favorite things to see. Like, I remember when they first started doing it in X Games, I was like, this is nuts. Like, whoever thought about this is a crazy person. But awesome.
When I remember Danny Way talking about it back in the Plan B days before it had even existed, he had it in his head that if you built a quarter pipe that had a bigger transition, and it had to be a quarter pipe. You couldn't do a half pipe of a huge transition because it took too much to get the speed to get above the coping and do the high airs. You needed a roll in to a huge quarter pipe. And he figured that part out. And that's when he started doing those, like the cover for DC. And it was
out
the
of the
cover
airplane
of trans roll.
Helicopter.
But even the jumping out of the helicopter and doing the highest air and stuff like that. He had been planning that for probably 10 years before.
Wow,
and just finally DC got big enough to actually put the money together to get that thing made. And once it was made, he was able to do exactly what he thought. And then it turned into the the mega ramp and the whole thing. He just created a whole thing that didn't exist.
Wow. Yeah, he's a legend too,
he's
man.
Another one too,
Do you guys stay in close contact still?
I went to a contest in Mexico that he had put together because he was trying to do some stuff down there and bring skateboarding, across the border. And he had a couple ideas of stuff that we could do there in the future. So that was a really successful event, and I think we're going to do some more stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's the last time we got to hang out was on this trip to Mexico.
Nice.
We did a skate contest for the kids in Chihuahua.
Oh,
and we were the guest judges.
Cool.
So it was a really cool event, and they were testing this one out to see if it was going to be a success, and it was great. So hopefully we'll do some more.
Absolutely, yeah. Awesome. That's great.
And skating does seem like it's getting to be a way, like, I don't know if it's just you see it more or not. I don't know what way, but it seems like it's becoming way more popular everywhere. Like everywhere, it doesn't matter. Like the Ugandan skate crew, like Muska donated a bunch of stuff the other day to him, and like those dudes are rippers, man. Like they got this sketchy concrete park and they tear it down. Like it's crazy to watch, and like it's like stuff I never expected to see. Like I can't believe that's happening. Like this is nuts. Like skateboarding's everywhere. I mean, like get beat up for being a skateboarder as a kid. Now it's like everybody wants to be one. It's could get any more opposite.
Well, now I wonder, because skateboarding is everywhere, but it seems like a lot of the pros that are trying to make a living at it just can't. No one's getting paid to do it anymore. And unless you're one of the select few that's at the top level, they're making more than any of us ever made. But the rest are really just not making money at it. No matter how hard they work. And they're working a job and skating and filming for video parts, and they still have sponsors, but they're not able to afford a living. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
But there's more money in skateboarding than ever. So it's going somewhere. I think the corporations finally just got it all.
Yeah, I do believe the same.
It's wild.
Pretty much, it feels like the music industry almost, right? Like just kind of like it used to be. Even though there was big shots and whatever, there was a lot more in the bottom kind of thing for everybody. Now it's kind of like unless you're all the way at the top, there isn't. It seems to be that's encroaching on everybody's thing. Like doesn't matter what it is, sports, music, art, and every kind of fashion. It's all kind of encroached that way now.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And I feel like everyone expects everything for free now. So everyone can just go on Thrasher on YouTube and get the latest release of whatever video or whoever's individual video part, right? So I feel like the big video release, like of an actual physical copy of a skate video, like isn't really where it used to be, right? So like same with DVDs, like no one buys DVDs anymore and stuff like that, or as much as they used to and stuff. Like the movie industry kind of lost that whole revenue stream, and it's hard. I would assume it's hard for skateboarding companies to put that money and invest in a physical media copy of something that they might not be able to get rid of. So people just want everything for free.
Especially now that a lot of the brands aren't run by skateboarders, So, like you're not going to have some corporate person telling you that this is a good idea, because it rarely makes sense to do it financially, but it's what's been in skateboarding forever, and so it's what has mattered the most is getting all your guys together, filming an entire video and putting it out at a premiere, and it just brings the whole community together. Mm-hmm. But that was really just everyone doing it for the love of skateboarding, not because it made $1 million at the end of it, Yeah. So it's wild, and I just don't see that coming back. It would take, a skateboarder-owned brand to make that cool again. And there's been a few that have done it recently and done a pretty good job, but you can tell it's just changing. And some people really don't even care if it comes back. There's a lot of skateboarders now that the younger generation, they just want to see your Instagram clips anyway. Right.
That's true.
They might not even have the patience to sit through a whole video.
That's also true.
I think everything is just changing, and you just got to change with it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we got to live through the part of skateboarding that we did, because it's probably just not going to be like that ever again.
No, I don't.
We had it good.
Think so.
It was good. It was
magic. It was a lot of magic in there.
You know what I mean? Like the skate shoe industry wasn't just dominated by Nike SB and you know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just so far. It's crazy to me to see where Nike is now in the skateboarding industry to what we thought of it when we first initially seen it start up, because we fucking hated that shit.
Right.
We are just like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah, I couldn't believe that it would even be a thing. Like, couldn't believe it. Like,
Well,
what do
and
you
now
mean?
you have skateboarders defending Nike as a skate brand, saying they're a core. They've been it for this many years, and it's like, wow, how things have changed.
That-
you know,
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is
I've seen
crazy.
it. Like people actively defending Nike as a skate shoe brand,
yeah.
and like I just never thought I'd see that side of it. But it's definitely come around, and the new generation, they've just grown up with Nike as the number one skate shoe brand, and that's all they know, and that's all they're gonna know.
That's right.
Yeah, it's crazy to think
That's
about it.
just where it is.
Yeah.
Again, things are changing.
Yeah, because I mean, even like you see skaters wearing Adidas like shell tops and stuff was even to a certain degree, right? Like certain cities, certain things, places like that, maybe. But like it was odd to see that because it was like you're wearing Adidas, like that's not a skate brand or whatever. Like, I mean, I skated shell tops a lot, but like they weren't a skate brand, right? Like it just wasn't a skate brand, and it felt weird and like yeah, it was very I was like, and I mean, like I played like sports and all that stuff, but like when Nike stepped up into that game, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, and that was stage one of corporate takeover, right there. Because then it was what was the other? And then like the New Balance stuff started coming around, and I mean that's whatever, but. I mean, I wear them every day.
I still didn't. Never would have guessed that would have happened.
Never guessed
either.
in all my life that was going to be a big brand in the skate world. New Balance.
Yeah,
like never guessed that. But I do like their shoes, though. To be fair, I wear them. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I quite like them.
Pasadena's been skating in the New Balance, and he skates great in them. So they must be fantastic.
Yeah, I quite like them. I do like they're slim, but they don't feel like that on your feet. I don't know how to explain it, but they don't feel, and even the soles don't feel. Like like you think they are because they look thin, but like it's gum and it's got lots of stuff going on in between. Yeah, I quite like them, like the Jamie Foys and stuff. I like them all. Like they're nice. If you're into a slim shoe,
well, they got some solid technology behind them, you know, some top notch materials. So
yeah,
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
now they got skateboarders that are helping them get the designs right. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, good for them, I guess. You know, and I mean, it's as much as it's changing things, it's. You know, it's putting money, it's putting spotlight on people, and you know, there's great skaters that skate for these companies and stuff like that. So I mean, you take it, I guess. You know, you just take it, I guess. But it's unfortunate.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
That's the way it is.
That's the way.
I don't know if there's going to be another big skater-owned shoe brand coming up. You know.
Yeah. I
just think it's almost too hard to break in. Someone would really have to do it right.
Yeah, it is a big risk at this point, I think. And there's a lot of players. And there's still some OGs kicking around, but I mean, they got big brands too now. I don't know. It'd be interesting. You'd have to be a big name, or like there'd have to be some whatever, like something that pushes you forward a little bit beyond the shoe even. Like you just have to get something.
You would just have to be able to out-design those brands, which is not impossible. Like you can definitely out-design those skate shoes because they're not perfect.
No.
You know? A lot of people love them and they skate in them and they buy them and they have no other options. But could you design a better skate shoe? Hell yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I could do it myself. I've done it.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, if given the opportunity, I could definitely design a better skate shoe than what's out there right now.
Nice.
Well, that's probably what maybe the skateboarding industry needs, a skateboarder-owned company that pushes the designs out there that you want to push out there, and that real skateboarders can get behind and
buy skaters for skaters.
Absolutely, we need a better option, and maybe we'll get there someday. You know, get the right people in the right room, we can make it happen.
Oh yeah. Anything's possible when it comes to that stuff. Just takes a good idea and a couple of tries, and I think it'd be wicked. A little bit of funding behind it, and anything can happen. Yeah, you get it going.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, my friend. It's been. We don't want to keep you too long. I know your son's practice is probably coming to a close here.
He should be done by now. So I have to check on him.
Can't thank you enough again for coming back and talking to us and just talking skateboarding and talking everything really. So
hanging out.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And I mean, you're welcome to come back anytime. We know you're a busy man, but it's been an awesome time talking to you again. So thank you so much.
Yeah, good seeing you guys again. And we can do this again anytime.
Awesome, dude.
Something new pops up, I'll hit you guys up.
All right, brother.
Let us know, brother.
Awesome, man.
when that shoe brand kicks off, you'll be the first ones I call.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
I love it.
I want a sample.
Yeah.
Right.
Send a few samples, maybe. Yeah.
We wear the same size, so we got it. You're 11, I'm 11.
That's right. All right, brother. Have a good night.
Awesome,
All right,
David.
guys,
Thank you so
take
much.
care.
Cheers,
Thank you.
dude. Thank you.